What's goody, everybody? Welcome back. In today's video, I am going to be giving you my finals preview analysis. Since I've been making post-game analyses,
that that you had you could you do you want.
bro, I don't know how to pronounce that word. Post-game analysis for every game. Yeah, that sounds right. I figure I'd do a preview before the series. So let's get right into it. So at the time I'm recording this, it's May 31st. So if I say tomorrow, it's because, and you would see this video on June 1st, well, it's because I'm recording it on May 31st, not June 1st. So I apologize, but cry about it, I guess. Anyways, I, for one, am very excited about this finals matchup because both teams have enough fight in them. So I don't think there's going to be really any blowout games. I mean, I know the Nuggets on paper are a way better team, but the Bucks were better than the Heat. The Knicks weren't. The Celtics were. And guess what? The Miami Heat prevailed. I mean, injuries did get them through the Bucks and Celtics. So as long as no Nuggets get hurt, I'm not too worried about the Nuggets, but either way, I think this is going to be a good series to watch. Even if it is a sweep or a 5-game series, these games are going to be good and competitive, and they're going to be dogfights, which is much more entertaining to watch than blowouts. So I'm excited. Let me know your finals predictions, though. I really want to say the Heat, but I trust the Nuggets more. And here's why. I'm kind of worried for Miami because I don't think the 2-3 zone is going to work. Now, this is because Jokic has 4 shooters around him. Well, and Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon is not necessarily a shooter, but he can play the low post and he can like a high-low action against the 2-3. But Jokic is a good enough passer to sit at the high post and find open people as well as score from there. You can't really stop that. Now, he can shoot there and he can play make out of there. Giannis couldn't do that. Giannis was hurt. That's why the 2-3 worked. The Celtics and Knicks both play so much isolation basketball, and that's why the 2-3 zone worked. That's just the truth. Maybe pass the ball a few more times and stop chucking threes, and both of them teams would have been here instead of Miami Heat. But they don't know how to do that, and Miami Heat won, which is kind of good for basketball. Now, Caleb Martin might not have the same exact series as he just had. Jimmy Butler might not have a series. But guess who they're getting back in game 3? Tyler Hero. Now, I'm not Tyler Hero's biggest fan. I know he went to Kentucky, which is my favorite college basketball team. But I'm still not a big fan of Tyler Hero's game. I don't know why. Just not fond of it. But that's a 20-point per game scorer. The Heat are only getting better right now. If they had Victor Oladipo, Victor Oladipo is nice. He's been nice. He's most underrated player, probably behind Russell Westbrook right now, in my opinion. Nah, Terrence Mann. Anyways, so I think the 2-3 zone's not going to work as well against this Nuggets team because they're more of a team-centered basketball team, not an isolation team. So that 2-3 zone's not going to work, but if there's any coach that's going to make a scheme that's going to work, it's Eric Spoelstra. So I think the Heat are going to get 2 games probably. If I had to give a prediction, it's definitely the Nuggets to win it because I think Bam is the best defender for Jokic. Bam is a very, very good defender. But I think the other guys around Jokic are just so much better and they get involved so much quicker. Like, I don't think the Nuggets are going to lose at home like the Celtics, like the Knicks. I can't believe the Knicks lost at home to the Heat. The Bucks, they don't really, I mean, they have good home court advantage, but they kind of got, Giannis got hurt in the first quarter of that game. And then game 5, you really blew it. Anyways, the Nuggets are a different breed on their home court, and there's not much else to say about that other than that. So I would say Nuggets in 6 because, or maybe 7. I don't think it's going to be a sweep. I think the Heat are a more gritty team than the Lakers. Like the Lakers give up during stretches. The Lakers were really reliant on LeBron James and Anthony Davis, while the Heat, they don't rely on anyone. They relied on Jimmy Butler to get them through the Bucks series, and then ever since then, the role players have stepped up. And against the Celtics, it was Caleb Martin, who arguably was Eastern Conference MVP, Eastern Conference Finals MVP. And then against the Knicks, Gabe Vincent had a series. Kyle Lowry had a good series. Jimmy Butler was hurt that series, and they still won. Bam had a good series. Like, there's just a lot of weapons, and there's a lot of grit to this Miami Heat team where it's not going to be easy for the Nuggets, and it's not going to be easy for the Heat at all, since the Heat are overmatched offensively. Miami Heat, if you're watching this, I just want you to know that if you shut down all 4 players around Jokic and make Jokic score 50 on you, you're going to win the series. Just want to put that out there. If you're smart enough to let Jokic score all the points, you'll win, because the Nuggets play worse when Jokic is scoring. I think Jimmy Butler and Nikola Jokic are perfect superstars to have play for the Finals MVP, because they don't flop. And I mean, Jokic did flop against the Lakers, but that was just because LeBron and AD were flopping on him, and he was doing it for jokes. I mean, he flopped a little bit, but that's not his game. Neither of these players are really floppers, and one of these 2 players are going to get the Finals MVP unless Jamal Murray has a series. I really only can see Jamal Murray getting it. Maybe Bam. Not. I see Jimmy Butler being the only guy on the Heat that can realistically get it. But I think either way, it's going to be Jokic or Butler who gets Finals MVP. Now, neither of these guys flop. And I just want you NBA players to look at me right now as I say this. Jason Tatum, Joel Embiid, Devin Booker, and LeBron James. Well, LeBron, you're fine. I'll give you a pass in this video. Stop flopping. Clearly don't win, all right? Y'all flop, flop, flop. Doesn't translate to any success. When's the last time y'all won a ring? I'm not talking about you, LeBron. Bubble don't count anyways, but no LeBron hate. I'm not going to hate on LeBron until he does something to piss me off again. All right? So no more LeBron hate until he pisses me off. But anyways, Tatum, you ain't won a ring yet. You've been carried to a bunch of conference finals. Let's be real here. Jaylen Brown is a one-option caliber player, and you still haven't won a championship. You lost to the 8 seed, right? Yeah. Then last year you lost to the Warriors. All right, you can't really complain about that. But you've been in the conference finals basically every year. You got swept by Kevin Durant and the Brooklyn Nets, who ended up losing to Milwaukee. But it's whatever. But Tatum, you ain't won anything. You got no rings. You got one Eastern Conference Finals MVP, and that's it. That's all your success right there. All NBA first team and whatnot don't matter. You haven't in the postseason. Joel Embiid, you haven't even made it out the second round, and you got an MVP. Jokic made it to the conference finals in the bubble. He's been there. His number 2 guy has been hurt. Your number 2 guy scores 45 points when you're not there, Joel Embiid. They won a game without you. And then y'all lost 4-2 when you were there. Really? Like, this flopping's not translating. I mean, I know you're injured and whatnot, but you always do this. You always get through the first round, and then you collapse in the second round. Joel Embiid, figure it out. Stop flopping. Just play some basketball. Play some tough basketball. Devin Booker. You know, I got a... Oh, wrong one. I got a Suns jersey up here, since Suns are my favorite team. And I'll be the first to admit it. Booker, you need to change your play style, because sometimes you be flopping a lot, and it's ridiculous. Now, this postseason was actually the least amount of flopping I've seen you do, so I'm really happy about that. But you talk a lot of smack, and Luka kicks your butt. You go up 2-0, then Giannis comes dunks on you and whatnot. You lose in the finals. You never made it to the postseason. You made it to the postseason 3 times in your career. and you've had disappointing losses. I mean, this Nuggets team was legit. I mean, you've taken the Nuggets to 6 games, and the Lakers got swept, and the Timberwolves lost them 5. So you've had the best success against the Nuggets. But Booker, really? You've had some disappointing series losses. The Nuggets series, I don't blame you. The Mavericks series, I blame. And then the Bucks series, I blame you. Figure it out. You cut back on the flopping this year, though. But I'm really most pissed at Joel Embiid and Jason Tatum since they flop and they cry all game, all year, and it's annoying. And it hasn't translated to any wins for you. James Harden, you too. You've been the foul guy your whole career. You just hunt for fouls. You haven't won. You haven't even been to the finals once. Jimmy Butler has been to 2 finals now when he wasn't even supposed to be in the conference finals. Like, let's be real. He wasn't even supposed to make it out the first round this year. Last year, everyone picking Philly to upset them. Nope. They put Philly in their place. Year before that, I mean, you can say Ben Simmons had to collapse, but Joel Embiid, you played against the Hawks team. That Hawks team has been irrelevant ever since they beat you. Like, let's be real here. They're irrelevant now. Then the year before that in the bubble, we won't talk about the bubble much. I don't really care about the bubble. And the year before that, you lose to Kawhi Leonard in the shot. You had Jimmy Butler on your team and you didn't get it done. And now Jimmy Butler leaves you and is in 2 finals. Joel Embiid, stop flopping. Jason Tatum, stop crying. All right, I'm done. Let's get back to the finals. Jokic and Jimmy Butler, one of them's getting the finals MVP. Neither of them are big time floppers. Last year's MVP of the finals, Steph Curry, not a big flopper. The year before that, it was Giannis Antetokounmpo. As much as flopping's ruining the game of basketball, it really shows that the best players on the teams that win it all have not been flopping at all. And that is good. The teams that have not been flopping have been successful recently. All right? Enough said after that. So we're looking at this article on the Denver Gazette right now, and I'm just gonna go down the matchups. So I know the rosters, I know the starting lineups, I know everything, the starting lineups for each team, but I just want to look at it more in depth before I say anything else. Point guard matchup: Jamal Murray is the best point guard. KCP, is it Caleb Martin right now or Max Strus? I think it might be Jimmy Butler, honestly. So I'm going to give the Heat that one. So it's 1-1 now. Michael Porter Jr. is not better than Jimmy Butler, but he's better than Max Strus sometimes. See, I think Michael Porter Jr. is going to get exposed on defense this series because who's he going to guard? Max Strus is a dog. If he's guarding Kevin Love will just bully him. If he's guarding Caleb Martin will outwork him. So I think Michael Porter Jr. is going to get exposed this series. That's a prediction of mine. Aaron Gordon, I think he's going to be guarding Jimmy Butler this series. And Jimmy Butler might struggle a little bit. Just a little bit. Now, the only way to take Jimmy Butler right out of it is for Aaron Gordon to do what he does best, and it's to be an athletic defender. But I think he falls for pump fakes a little too much. So I think Butler can get him. But if Aaron Gordon learns not to fall for the fakes, he'll be fine. And then you got Nikola Jokic. He's better than Bam. He's going to guard Bam. Bam could. Oh, Jokic is an improved defender, so I don't know too much. That's going to be interesting. Bruce Brown's going to get a lot of minutes. He's really good. All right. So that was just 6-man. All right. Gabe Vincent. He's not better than Jamal Murray, but if Gabe Vincent gets going and heals that ankle up, he could win the Heat some games. See, this is what I mean. On paper, you look at the Nuggets and you're like, yeah, they should win this series easily. The Miami Heat are dogs. They're cut different. They are them. Max Strus. KCP versus Max Strus. I mean, Max Strus is bigger, and stronger. But KCP, I don't know. I think that's kind of a wash right there. Jimmy Butler, he's better than Michael Porter Jr. I don't really need to say anything else. Caleb Martin. Now, I think Kevin Love might go back into the starting lineup this series because if you put him on Aaron Gordon, I think he might guard Jokic. Since this is the better series for Kevin Love to play in, like against the Celtics, he was kind of a mismatch. And the heck is that? He was a mismatch, and you could see that he got taken out of the starting lineup for good reason. So I don't know if Caleb Martin's going to start either, or him and Bruce Brown are going to be X factors in this series. Bam, not better than Jokic, but the second best player on the Heat defensively. Now, I think he could give Jokic a lot of hassle, but I don't know if he can keep Jokic off the glass. Since Bam is only 6'10", Jokic is 7 foot. Tyler Hero, if he comes back, all right, they said X factor here. Nah, it's Caleb Martin. Kevin Love is going to be starting. And that's all we got right there. Shout out Denver Gazette. Now, let me know your finals predictions. The more I look at it, the more I think the Heat are going to win. Low key. But I don't want to doubt the Nuggets because I think Jamal Murray is the best scorer in this series. Like, he's a pure scorer. But I think the Heat defense can get to him. My matchups. Who are the Heat players going to guard? Bam is going to guard Jokic. Kevin Love's going to guard Aaron Gordon or Jokic. That could be flipped easy. Jimmy Butler's going to guard Jamal Murray. He's not going to let Jamal Murray cook. Like, once Jamal Murray starts cooking, Jimmy Butler's going on him. And if Jimmy Butler's getting torched by him, I think Caleb Martin might try. But Jamal Murray gets it going. No one's stopping him. Max Strus is probably going to guard Michael Porter Jr. or maybe Gabe Vincent. I don't know. It doesn't really matter after that. Think Jokic will guard Kevin Love. Ooh, that's low-key a mismatch if you had... I like Kevin Love in this series. I didn't like him in the Celtics series. I actually said to take him out the lineup, and you took him out the lineup, and you did better. But I like him in this series more because I think you have more mismatch size advantage if you're Miami than Denver, because Denver only has Jokic at the center, really. So, my finals prediction. You all hear that? Y'all hear that? I'm going to look really dumb. But I think the Miami Heat are going to win this series in 6 games. And I honestly think they might do what the Bucks did against my Suns and go down 2-0 and then win the next 4 games. I kind of feel that because they're going to be really tired and whatnot. So yeah, I'm switching up what I said. Miami Heat in 6. They're going to come back from down 2-0. Jamal Murray might get hurt. Some key player on Denver is going to get hurt. There's going to be a key player that gets hurt in this series, but you got to look at it from this perspective. Nuggets might win the first 2 games, but then Tyler Hero comes back. That's 20 points per game. Now, he's not going to score 20 points per game right immediately, but just think about it. Miami Heat in 6. Have a good one. As always, this has been Bold Hoops with Jay Hoopa.